Let us put material down so he makes it safe.
Flights are also being delayed nationwide.
That major winter storm taking aim and threatening travel on a very busy weekend. TSA estimating at least 8 million people will pass through its checkpoints nationwide. More than 1,100 flights have already been canceled. And as for the airports most affected, Chicago O'Hare, that storm already striking in that area, Boston's Logan Airport, JFK here in New York.
And flights in and out of Columbus, they seem to be mostly on time today. One United flight to Chicago has been canceled today. Snow emergencies have also been issued for a handful of Ohio counties. They include Crawford, Delaware, Knox, and Logan counties. They're all under a level 1 snow emergency.
Well, I'm going to be making a statement at 3 o'clock.
The president, speaking this morning, says he's still holding out for a wall as the longest partial government shutdown in our history continues.
If we had a wall, we wouldn't have a problem, but we don't. We have too many open areas.
The content of his statement this afternoon is not certain, but we're told it is border wall related. Democrats who have offered hundreds of millions of dollars for new immigration judges and improvements to ports of entry have offered nothing for a wall. The president is at Dover Air Force Base right now, receiving the body of an American soldier who was killed in a suicide attack in Syria.
We're working to put together legislation that goes to his desk that will make sure that people that are required to work are actually getting paid.
Meanwhile, Utah Senator Mitt Romney says he supports the president's call for a border wall, but he adds he is now working on legislation that will ensure that essential federal workers who have to work during the shutdown get paid now instead of having to wait for back pay after the shutdown ends. And the weather outlook is improving for tomorrow's AFC Championship game in Kansas City. The forecast is now calling for temperatures approaching 30 degrees when the Chiefs host the New England Patriots at Arrowhead Stadium. The winner of tomorrow's game will play in the Super Bowl, either against the Rams or the Saints. I'm Allison Wyatt. Stay connected to Columbus and Central Ohio on the hour, 30 minutes past. And as news breaks, we will see some rain showers continue this afternoon with a high of 34. Then snow possibly mixing with sleet, becoming all snow after 7 o'clock tonight. The snow could be heavy at times, and we could see blowing and drifting snow. Overnight lows are expected to be around 16, but that wind chill value will make it feel as if it is 0 outside. There's even a possible for some snow and sleet accumulation through the overnight of 3 inches possible. Currently, it is 33 degrees.
Looking to buy a car? Online shopping can be confusing. Not anymore with True Price from TrueCar. Now you can know the exact price you'll pay for the car you want and see what other people paid for it too. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience.
You know, time is a funny thing. When you're having fun, it flies by. If you're in an accident, it seems to go into slow motion, right? And when a deadline's approaching, all you can think about is how much time do I have left? Well, if you're kind of under the crunch, you've been thinking about retirement, and more importantly, your retirement savings, and you're feeling a little pinched, why not give yourself a chance to relax? Make a phone call and get some solid information. I mean, 2018 was really volatile, so what can you do to make sure it doesn't impact you negatively as you head toward retirement? I recommend you call Greg and Kristen Taylor at Legacy Retirement Group. Make sure you're starting the new year on the right foot with a complimentary portfolio analysis. Give them a call, 614-336-7660, 614-336-7660, or you can see them online. It's LegacyRetirementGroup.com. I think you'll really like them.
Legacy Retirement Group is a financial services firm whose affiliates offer insurance and a broad array of other products and services. Licensed in Ohio. Number 19353.
Live from LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is On Target, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is On Target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Good afternoon. Welcome to On Target. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility. That's located at 999 Bethel Road, just west of 315. I'm your host, Eric, along with my father, Phil. Wow, did you just come in from the shoveling there, Papa?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I had to take a break because there's just so much snow out there, and I can only do so much,
That's all right.
with my age and everything. And, those forecasters were right on target.
Hopefully, right on target. There you go. Hopefully it doesn't accumulate too much between now and then when the show's done.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, you can look at the weather chart and tell
What?
we're not going to get any snow. And
No.
people, Giant Eagle, there were no carts, and people are running around grabbing stuff off the shelves. It's
My wife went out last night, and she went to both Giant Eagle and Myers, and she says it was a zoo out there. Things were off the shelf.
It was insane.
Guys, I did a screenshot of the weather report this week. It was early on in the week. This is local weather for us, right? And they showed
I'm Scott Grady with.
They showed Columbus, Marion, surrounding counties or surrounding cities. Marion forecasted to get 23 inches of snow today. When have we ever seen 23 inches? I mean, was that the whole season? 20. I mean,
that's not even the whole season.
I mean, that was on the chart on TV. 23 inches. I mean,
that's like the blizzard of '78 or something. Yeah.
Twice.
Crazy.
I heard from a reliable source that they're not calling it a forecast anymore. They're calling it a nowcast.
A nowcast.
A
Look out the
nowcast.
window, see what it's
Yeah,
doing
that's about what
now.
you have to do.
That's right. Well, we are the owners of LEPD Firearms Range and Training Facility and are active law enforcement. But for 1 hour on Saturdays, we put together a group of firearm experts to discuss new products in the market, training tips, and oftentimes political topics surrounding the Second Amendment. Our commitment, though, is to always bring you the facts about our industry and ultimately help our listeners.
I'm Scott Grady with an alert from the 610 WTVN news desk.
Yep.
What?
Hello.
Hey, Scott, what's up?
Okay. Well, there
we go.
Okay. Well, and we're back.
I think they're messing with this area.
Yeah,
I guess every time you talk about the weatherman,
I know.
we
Now
get,
they're going to sabotage our program.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, guys, today on the show, we're addressing a few topics that we received from listeners this week, talking about 2 or 3 guns that are hot off the press that we got in here for rent right now. You're not going to want to miss that. You can come right here today and rent those. And then also, if time permits, we're going to talk about guns that flopped or ones that didn't quite meet expectations.
And
Some
there's a lot of
recently,
those.
right. Some of those never seem to come to fruition.
Right.
So today we're going to talk about those in the past, what didn't come to fruition, or maybe that did and they didn't last too long. That's going to be coming up at 1:30. So we definitely want to hear your thoughts when we come to that part of it. Before that, JC is going to have some news along with Ronnie. Paul has the gun of the week.
Guns
of the week.
Guns of the week.
And you're not going to want to miss that at 1:15. Guys, there's just too much going on here today. The Facebook's disconnecting and got random voices in my ears. I don't know. Are you guys hearing the same voices I hear? Or no?
Yeah, and we're passing guns around like they're hot potatoes.
And I lost my dog.
Yeah, I can't
He's
help
right
you with
here.
that one.
You're right there? Okay.
We want to thank all of our sponsors, Rampart Hosting, Porta West, Jackson Lawn Care, which I'm sure we'll see today, and Neat Press Windows, Trigger Group, Blackwing Shooting Centers, our good friends over there. River's Edge Cutlery, I was there yesterday. And, of course, CNS Engraving, all great sponsors that help us put the show on each and every week. Joining me today in the LEPD studios, I have JC from the sales team. JC, did you get a chance to shoot the gun that is sitting here on our desk, the Vector?
Well, believe it or not, as soon as this show is over, I have my little bag of ammo and my magazine over there, and that's where I'm headed because a couple of people got to shoot it this morning, and it's a beautiful, the Kris Vector. And the thing that got me, we just had a customer came in a day or two ago asking, do you have any of these? And we didn't have any. Well, a used one walks in the door, and it's an incredible gun, but I'm going to be shooting it right after. But if you have an interest in these are kind of rare to find, and you can take a look at it on our Facebook. But the Kris Vector, and this happens to be in 45 ACP. Initially, I thought it had an Osprey suppressor on there, but it turns out that is it's just a very cool looking gun. Oh, that's really cool.
And it is here for sale. Great condition and flat dark earth.
New.
Sits right here. Ronnie from Boom Boom Tactical sits to my right. Ronnie, we had a couple more customers this week come in with some of that Top Shot ammo. One said he had some issues with it. We weren't able to identify if it was part of the stuff we'd seen before, but it was definitely the same general time frame that the ones we had too. So we're still seeing that trickle in. If you're out there, if you have Top Shot ammo, it is definitely worth calling the manufacturer and checking to see if yours is one that is affected by some of the issues that we are having. Sitting to my left, my father and co-owner Phil. Unfortunately, you had a quick trip this week to North Carolina.
Quick trip, yeah. It was actually, it wasn't a bad drive or anything, but
Right, you had unfortunately your sister passed away this week.
Yeah, she was in a nursing home for several years, and her health was failing, and it was a sad thing. I had she was like 12 years ahead of me in age and everything, so didn't really grow up with her that much.
Yeah, but you had 10 hours, 2 days in a row on the road.
Actually, the last one was like about 12 hours, and it's only because people can't seem to drive and they have accidents, and then it holds up everybody for hours, which is what happened twice on the way back home.
Right, so your little drive turned into a big drive. Popo, I also, and unfortunately the Facebook feed looks like it's down, but we are working on that. Popo, right here in my hands, I had something that came in that I thought was all you, and I don't understand why you're, tell the folks out there what we have since they can't see it.
Well, it's a Beretta 380, and I don't know what the model is on this, Eric.
A Cheetah, I believe.
Cheetah?
Yeah, Cheetah.
I mean, beautiful finish on it, beautiful grips, double stack magazine, holds 13 plus 1 in the barrel, and really, it's something that if I owned this, I don't know whether I want to carry it. It just looks so nice.
Wow, it's a classic. I mean, it is.
I mean, it is a classic. Feels good in the hand.
Yep.
I was looking at these years ago, and they were always a little bit out of my reach as far as price goes. Of course, a good thing about it is that it's made in Italy. And
right. I see. I thought you were all over it. Now you're back on the Facebook. Hold it up there, Pubble, for the folks that are looking on Facebook there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Let me put the slide down so you can see how it looks.
So that's not,
sorry, I muzzled you there, Ronnie.
That's not the gun of the week, though, is it?
No, not away.
It's just
not away.
I like that better than the gun of the week.
Well, yeah, you would. You know what? This would be perfect if it had a decock.
Right.
Take a look at that. I think that's that Model 85.
So as we pass that around, if you missed the show, you can always catch the podcast. That's at 610WTVN.com. We're on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and actually my personal favorite place to listen to the show back is on Google Podcast. Facebook, it's a great time, great place to go out there and watch the show. If you didn't get a chance to see it live, you can see some of the things that are sitting here right on the counter with us. The Kris Vector today, the Beretta Cheetah, all right here. And then, guys, this is becoming more and more popular. Alexa, a lot of these devices that were under the Christmas tree this time of year, or a couple weeks ago or a month ago now, everyone has these now. All you have to say is, Alexa, play 610 WTVN on iHeartRadio, and boom, it comes right to it, right through it. Now you don't need a transistor radio anymore. You don't,
Transistor radio.
How many of you guys are going to have one of those in your house? There's just something about that.
Eric has one now.
I mean,
Eric has one now.
They listen to you.
Luke
all
does.
day.
Yes.
They listen to you all day long.
Can it do a forecast?
Well, you can say, Alexa, what's the forecast?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it talks right there. You can also, it answers life questions too.
Why? I mean, why do you want something like that?
That is the generation to come. Guys, something else too this week. Instagram. We've had an Instagram account for a long time. We're kind of bringing it back to life, and so there's a lot of things now. If you're not following us on Instagram, that is worth doing it. We put out a video this week. Here's a hint on what we're going to be talking about at 1:30. A video of these two new guns that came in, of one of our guys trying them out. So definitely worth checking this out and liking us on Instagram. So guys, is that time for the news? JC, what do you have for us?
There's just a lot of stuff happening out there. I thought this was pretty interesting. A Virginia senator begins to open carry, and it shows her in the Senate with a .38 revolver right there on her hip. Senator Amanda Chase, a Republican freshman legislator, became concerned for her safety on Monday after a group of immigration activists confronted her and a colleague over his bill to ban sanctuary cities. I mean, these are illegal aliens. They shouldn't have a sanctuary, and he came out with a bill to ban that. And so they were accosted by immigration activists. And She has long held a concealed carry permit. This is being carried open now, and she was seen in the Virginia State Capitol right there in Richmond, in there wearing a revolver in her hip. She said, "Look, I've had people get in my face. I've had people come up and try to touch me inappropriately. I've had threats, stalkers since I've been in the General Assembly, and I refuse to be intimidated against physical harm." So she actually described openly carrying as empowering women, and even likened it to her own Equal Rights Amendment. So,
John, can you tell?
off.
John, can you tell what model she's carrying? Or I mean, does it have a picture?
It did, because it was in a holster. I couldn't see if it was a hammerless or not, but it looked like a Smith & Wesson, either.
All right.
Probably a 642, or
okay.
Could have had a hammer on it, but it had a snap over it. All right, another one. This is a biggie here. Okay, so here are all these legislators. Oh, we got to get rid of these guns, and they're out there. Well, the Department of Justice just released their survey. It takes them a long time to get stuff together, and this was from surveys that were done in 2016, which really isn't that long ago for the federal government. They interviewed over 1.37 million federal and state inmates, so it takes a while to do that. And what they found, about a third of them say that they possessed or carried a gun at the time they committed a crime, so a third of those folks. Of those, 257,000 approximately, about 43% of those folks said they obtained their guns from illicit sources, such as trading guns and stolen goods for stuff. So that's 43%. 25% said they got them as gifts from relatives or friends. Hey, you're going to break into this bank? Here, let me give you a little gift here. I don't know how that works, but 25% got them as gifts. Surprisingly, only 6% said that they actually stole the guns used in their crime. They're just buying from other people who stole the guns, I guess. But here's the thing. Just 1.3% of prisoners who committed crimes with firearms had obtained them through retail stores or gun shows. Retail sales, 1.3%. All the rest of that. So here they are trying to put all these restrictions, make everything more difficult, yet they're attacking the wrong end of the problem.
Well, like we always said, they're not doing suggestions that are going to impact change.
But they don't care if it impacts change.
Nope.
That's not
no,
what
that's,
they want.
That's what they want.
What they want is to ban guns.
And take them away from you.
Yeah.
Fewer than 1% got them from a gun show. Fewer than 1%. And the rest, gun stores using fraudulent IDs, they said.
Right, which is interesting that they use that. So, wow.
Very interesting.
When we come back from the break, I think Ronnie has one tidbit of news. Popo has the gun of the week, and we're going to get to a question from one of our listeners as well. We're on target. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms and Range. We'll be right back after the break.
Some folks prepare for a winter storm by buying milk, bread, and eggs. We prepare you with road reports, the latest forecasts, and live talk before, during, and after the storm. So while you're making French toast, we're working hard to keep you in the know all weekend. Because we live here too. News Radio 610, WTVN.
Hi, we're the Gore family, owners of Blackwing. That's right, Blackwing is family.
Because we care about you and our community.
Let's take you under our wing, because that's what family is for.
Isn't it time to visit the family? We'll see you soon at Blackwing.
Like I say, if that had a decock on it, I think I would
kitchen knives, tactical blades, or shaving supplies. Go to where the professionals shop. River's Edge Company.
Like it has a half cock or something there.
You'll find some of the best knives from Spyderco, Microtech.
Hey, Ronnie, can you make sure we're still on? There's getting weird messages here.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it says broadcast.
Sorry about that, dude. Mike needed me to record something for WCLL. I thought I could do it while you guys were still on. It didn't go out over the air. You just heard it.
Oh, okay.
So it is currently 35 degrees. Short.
Are you serious?
All right.
Well, don't be short.
Podcast of the year, armchair expert with Dax Shepard and best podcast.
Are they saying anything about the sound or anything? Or?
Just everything's good.
Is it still going right now?
Yeah.
This is showing down.
It says the sound has gone back to the mic on the camera.
How long ago was that?
Just now.
Your ABC6 first warning weather. A winter storm warning is in effect for the Columbus metro area and Central Ohio through Sunday. There's a winter weather advisory as well and a flood watch for the southern and southeastern Ohio counties. Saturday, though, snow, ice, rain likely. All snow and windy temperatures and so forth is coming late in the day, they say. High of 34 for tonight. Snow showers are likely. Very windy. Low of 16. Sunday, snow showers once again. Very windy. Cold. High of 19. It is currently a warm 35 degrees in Central Ohio. On your severe weather station, News Radio 610 WTVN.
News Radio for Columbus, 610 WTVN.
But the fire is so delightful, and since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Man, it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I've brought me some corn.
Welcome back to On Target.
You
Our
didn't
snowy
mention-
special.
You didn't mention an accumulation, did you, in that forecast?
There is no. I got
well,
nothing.
maybe they smartened up a little bit and decided not to give an accumulation.
It's all running down the drain. That's
Well,
where it's going now.
here's the one thing we were supposed to have snow today, and they totally botched that. But it's going to be like -8 degrees Sunday evening, so it's going to keep snowing today. This is the on target weather report.
Oh, okay.
It's going to rain and be icy until probably 6 or 7 this evening, and then it's going to snow and heavy at times.
Heavy at times.
All right.
And folks, please do not panic. And if you do drive, just drive, in a sensible manner and slow it down a little bit. That's all you got to do.
It's funny you mentioned that, Phil, today, because I'm driving here to work, and there's this lady, and she's like, she would slow down for the turns and then speed up, and like it's already 10 inches of snow.
Practicing.
You weren't behind a ruby-colored Camry, were you?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Welcome back to On Target.
She's out.
We are broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms in Range. I'm here, Eric. I'm the host, along with Ronnie, who is Boom Boom Tactical and does the live outdoor weather reports for us. JC from the sales team does the inside weather reports. And Paul is just the commentary.
I just do nothing. That's about
right.
what I do.
So, guys, Ronnie, you have, I think, a quick story there that we didn't get to in the first segment.
It's just that another thing, the Democrats are, have the House of Representatives now. Nancy Pelosi has unveiled a universal gun registration bill. Okay, but don't be worried because they won't use it for anything like to take your guns away.
Right.
Just like Australia. Yeah, they didn't.
Oh, just like New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you if this went through, which it won't because we have a Republican Senate, you wouldn't even be able to give your firearm to your son or your daughter. You'd have to have a registration done. No more face-to-face sales.
And again, we're not, it's not to say that there are some things that need change, but geez, bring the people who know the industry into the loop, and let's get together and do things that are going to affect change rather than spinning our wheels on ridiculous stuff that has no effect to change, and all they do is put it into place. Then they stand back and say, well, we got to do more, when if they would have done something in the first place, we wouldn't be
do the right thing. But
the information, that story you had just earlier that you just talked about, John, is a classic example.
It's perfect. This is what the facts are, but this is what they're lying because their lips are moving. That's what they're doing. Oh, God.
I tell you, if this doesn't get kicked off of Facebook, it's Papa.
Yeah, I may have to go out and shovel snow, Eric, to make it fast. Okay, go ahead.
Gun of the week is yours, and I honestly don't even know what you're doing today.
I'm not sure. I know what I'm doing, which is typical. Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay. Well, I thought that in the spirit, we were talking about guns that we're all hyped up, but then flop.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Well, so in that spirit, I chose 2 guns. One was the Chiappa Rhino. Chiappa Rhino. 357 Magnum. And this one statement, this was reviewed by somebody, and he says, sometimes a new firearm comes out that just makes you want to hate it. And and evidently, that's what we looked at them, Eric, a long time ago, and I'm a revolver person, and that's what this is, and we have many revolvers between us that belong to famous lawmen, and we still carry a wheel gun every now and then, and but this gun, this lacks style. That's the thing, it lacks style. Not to mention the fact that the barrel is down on the bottom with the firing pin,
right,
and the hammer's up on top.
And Phil, I've worked on a couple of them. It's an absolute nightmare because
Really?
of that. The
Really?
hammer on it, it's decoration. The hammer doesn't even do anything.
Really?
But JC, there is one. I mean, they're supposed to shoot enormously.
Well, the whole purpose of it is we talk about the bore axis, with the relationship to the highest part of your hand to where the bullet comes out of the bore. And the greater that, your hand becomes a fulcrum point, and if it's a great bore axis, then the gun's going to flip up. What they've done is they put the barrel on the bottom, so it comes straight back into your wrist, and the recoil was perceptibly less, even though physically it's the same amount in a revolver. It's the weight of the gun, and the force is coming back, but it comes back straight. The people that like them, we've had some experienced gun folks that own a lot of stuff and are pretty smart guys that came in here. They love theirs. They said their wife can shoot a .357 Magnum out of it, where they have a hard time with a .380 in an automatic. And they said just because of how that's configured. So the gun may not be the great thing. I don't know, but the principle is, and that new one we talked about last week, the Alien, which is $5,000. Everyone's raving about. They're doing the same thing. They put the barrel down low, so the recoil goes straight back into the wrist and doesn't have any muzzle lift.
If you watch Clint Eastwood in some of his westerns, he has one that's titled "The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly." That's what this is. You have the good parts, you have the bad parts, and you have the parts
that's
ugly.
You know what? The grip is pretty ugly.
For me, the look of it really kind of takes you back. But also, too, the price. It is not an inexpensive firearm.
Yeah, anywhere between $800 and $900. And if someone came in here and said, "I'm looking for a holster for this," will we have one? No, I'll give them a shopping bag. They can carry around their shopping bag.
There you go.
With the little tie on, so they can.
So, Papa, what's your second one?
The second one is the Grendel, the 380 Grendel. And, John, you don't have to worry if you're not prepared. I mean, I can throw any gun at you, and you'll know more than I know about it.
That's very interesting.
Well, the P10, the one that came out, actually, you loaded that. It didn't have a magazine. It's a 380.
It's an internal magazine.
Yeah, it's an internal, and you loaded it like with a stripper clip.
It used M16 stripper clips.
It did?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they came back out with, I think they call it a P12. It looks the same about as a P10, but this one had a removable magazine. But the thing is that they call it the wrist wrecker. That had a lot of recoil.
It was very, very light gun.
I'm kind of offended, too, by the fact that it takes a stripper clip. Why can't it just be a normal clip?
Just a clip,
This was the precursor, though.
It was a precursor. The person that developed, that put this gun together is George Kelgram.
Kelgram.
And out of South Florida. And right after this, he left or what he was doing there, and he developed the Kel-Tec.
But you can tell by looking at it. I mean, it
Yeah,
looks
it
like
does.
a Kel-Tec.
Yep.
And they also had that P30, which was also, again, that's 30-round 22 Magnum that they had, but in an original form, which didn't work very well. But this guy, Kelgren, this was open from 88 to 94 when he closed that one shop and went right in. He learned the lessons from those flops and turned right around, and is just one of the industry giants now.
Now, a little bit of trivia about George here. He was born in Sweden.
Right.
Okay.
Sweden.
And, oh, okay. And he worked I Husqvarna.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Before he started making guns.
Wow.
Yeah, cool.
Good guns of the week there, Pawpaw. And I kind of want to see one of those in person now. When we come back from the bottom of the hour news, we're going to talk about actually a question from a listener. We're going to get into some guns that didn't turn out as one would expected. We're on Target. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms and Range. We'll be right back after the break.
Mom says
Message and data rates may apply.
Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that furthered your career and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors, all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? To find out more, text TEST to 79645. That's TEST to 79645. Start your online MBA, Information Management, or Business Analytics Master's Program from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the W.P. Carey Business Graduate Programs online. Text TEST to 79645. That's TEST to 79645.
News, traffic, and weather for Columbus. News Radio 610, WTVN.
The Midwest taking a beating from a winter storm. Good afternoon, I'm Allison Wyatt. News Radio 610 WTVN traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 10s, powered by Tempstar Heating and Cooling Products.
Roads are wet this afternoon with a winter storm warning still in effect. Reports of an injury accident blocking Ferris Road at Cleveland Avenue. Traffic from Tempstar and Starner's Heating and Cooling. I'm Ashley on News Radio 610 WTVN.
Rain showers will continue this afternoon. We'll see a high of 34. Snow, possibly mixing with sleet, will begin to fall this evening, becoming all snow after 7 o'clock. We could see some widespread blowing snow as well. Lows will dip down to 16. There will be a slight chance of snow again tomorrow morning with an afternoon high of 17. This weather powered by the Basement Doctor. It is 35 in West Jefferson, 34 degrees at your severe weather station. News Radio 610 WTVN. The Northeast is feeling the impacts of a winter storm that's expected to dump upwards of 2 feet of snow on several states over the weekend. Forecasters expect blizzard conditions in some areas, and more than 2,000 flights nationwide have already been canceled. Flights in Columbus are still running on time. In Columbus, currently 6 Ohio counties actually are under a snow emergency today. They include Crawford, Delaware, Hardin, Knox, Logan, and now Marion counties. They're all under a level 1 snow emergency. Border Patrol agents in Texas have seized hundreds of pounds of cocaine in a Rio Grande city yesterday.
A very valuable narcotic, and it's hard to come by again because it's very well guarded. It's very well protected when the loads come across.
Border Patrol agents say 700 pounds of cocaine came across the river. The president, meanwhile, he's set to make a major announcement on day 29 of the partial government shutdown, reportedly over his demand for more than $5 billion to build a border wall along the southern border. A senior White House official says today that the president will not declare a national emergency at the southern border when he speaks to the nation later this afternoon. For your ABC6 first warning weather, those rain showers will continue this afternoon with a high of 34. I'm Allison Wyatt. Our next report at 7 o'clock. For breaking news and weather alerts instantly, follow us on Twitter at 610 WTVN News.
This is Eric with LEPD Firearms Range and Training Facility. If you're a business owner in need of a personalized gift for your employees this season, CNS Engraving is one-stop shopping for all your engraving needs. From promotional items to customized products to unique OSU licensed gifts, the quality of work from CNS is simply the best in Central Ohio. Want to make your firearm unique, or do you need an NFA item engraved? Do what we do and call our good friends at CNS Engraving, 614-929-2726. Come see their work at LEPD or stop by their storefront in Powell.
Are you thinking about making your first firearm purchase or looking to add to your collection? Stop by and check out over 200 used firearms in stock at LEPD Firearms Range and Training Facility on Bethel Road. From modern pistols, old revolvers, to classic rifles, you'll find a wide variety with inventory changing daily. Check out their current used inventory at lepd.com or stop by the store and experience the best holster selection in Central Ohio. Great deals are waiting for you at LEPD, 999 Bethel Road, or on the web at lepd.com.
Live from LEPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is On Target, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is On Target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Welcome back to On Target. I'm your host, Eric, joined today in the LEPD studios with my father and co-owner, Phil. He sits to my left if you're watching on Facebook Live. To my right, JC, who's been with us for certainly a long time before we even opened this store.
Yeah,
good friend for a long time. Ronnie, who makes up Boom Boom Tactical, sits to my far right. Guys, do you know what? I was listening to the intro about this show might not be politically correct. They probably should highlight that.
Probably.
I think we're going to start getting hate mail.
Probably.
From the forecasters.
Yeah, I was going to say only from weather
aficionados.
Well, guys, I wanted to go. We always encourage listeners to contact us throughout the week on topics, guns of the week they want us to cover, or questions. And this question today, and if you do have a question that you would like to send us, it's easy. It's OnTarget at lepd.com, and super easy to find us. But this question came in today. There's been a lot of talk this week, and actually we went on with the Blazer and talked a little bit about medical marijuana. The dispensaries opened this week. A lot of people went there, and there was all kinds of news around that. But what does that mean if you're a firearm owner? And unfortunately for folks that are doing that, it means you can no longer possess a firearm. And it's not just that you can't go and purchase one, but you are now not legally able to own one if it's previously in your possession or ammunition.
Yeah, it gives you the same restrictions that a felon would. Actually.
Same restriction.
Yeah,
You're prohibited.
Same restriction. You're prohibited from having any firearms or ammunition at all.
So we had a listener, Jonathan, I think his name was, emailed in this week and said, asking for a friend, that...
yeah.
What was that name again, Eric?
So wait.
Jonathan?
So he was just asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Maybe the friend didn't have a computer or something.
Right. That's what I think.
Yes, or maybe there's just a close friend. But asking for a friend, he says, if I happen to be in the same household with somebody who is prescribed medical marijuana, what are my obligations as far as being a firearm owner? And actually, we talked to one of the attorneys this week, and honestly, it's like being in a household with any prohibited user of a firearm. So it's like being in a household with a felon who can't own or possess a firearm. Those need to be locked up and only accessible by the person who is legally able to own them. So there's no having it beside your bed. There's a lot of stipulations along with that.
Yeah, I mean, there really are. And a lot of people going, what? But our state says, well, federal law trumps state laws, period. And it's right there on the form that you fill out. As a matter of fact, they've bolded it now, saying that even if your state has approved both either medical or recreational use of marijuana, the U.S. government, and those are the ones who approve your firearms purchases, the FBI, they treat it the same as heroin or cocaine or fentanyl, any of these drugs. And so if you have it, you are forbidden, as Eric said, from possessing either ammo or firearms.
Now, and it's not, I mean, they haven't come out and said this yet, but you can only imagine this could be the next step. There's certainly databases with individuals who are taking medical marijuana now. I mean, it wouldn't take much, I would assume, to sync that up with the NICS database, and then all of a sudden it's not just a question on the form. It is you're going to get kicked out if you
and you guys remember what happened in Hawaii? They went and got the list and compared it to the list of people who had firearms.
That's right.
And went and confiscated their firearms.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
This is incredible. Let me because this is so fresh. The Dayton Daily News just came out with an article here just in the last few days, but they interviewed the Ohio. The person's name was Cameron McNamee, the Ohio Board of Pharmacy spokesperson, who said, this is the quote: "The patient registry itself is protected information, and only those doctors who are certified will be able to access the patient registry." That's until the law changes and someone says, hey, we can access it too. But right now, that's the case. It says, well, it means while the ATF can perform background checks on potential gun buyers, right now it is impossible for them to be able to access medical marijuana patient information registry. And that effectively means that the ATF will need to rely on the honesty of the gun buyers filling out their background forms. But that's right now. I mean, the next step would be you know what, we're going to look at that too. So that
So
could
we'll
really
definitely
change.
keep you updated as that progresses.
You know the movie Bird Box where they're all walking around on the, with the blindfolds? Well, we have a Facebook listener who wants to know if they're allowed to shoot blindfolded on the range.
Funny.
Well,
You should bring that up. Ronnie, early on when we first opened, we had 2 different people come in that were legally blind. And will you guys quit posing? and we had, and he had somebody with them, and they asked if they could shoot on the range. And, we were just open, and we let him do it.
You know what? In all honesty, there might be some validity to that. From it's in the dark, it's at night. I mean, it probably wouldn't be something we could just allow just to come up to a booth, but certainly in a one-on-one or something.
A brief true story. I taught 2 people without sight to shoot to get in their concealed carry, and what we did is we put a bell on the target and just said, here it is, and believe it or not, one of them shot the bell right off of the target on their third shot. But they did better than most of the sighted people. I mean, they were but they wanted to be able to protect themselves.
It goes to that point
it was amazing.
shooting and so forth.
They passed the shooting aspect.
If you want to jump in on the conversation, 614-821-9886 is the number. Guys, something else, too, this week that we announced, and if you're on our Facebook page, and if you're not, you definitely got to jump out on there. It is the banner right now, Live PD. We've talked about it here on the show. We've had Chief Gilbert on with us. Cool. It's certainly a big thing right now in Franklin County. They're filming with these guys. Well, we're going to be selling T-shirts here. It's one that we put together. We're pre-selling them right now, and we should have them in later this week. So if you want to jump in on it, you can jump on our Facebook, see what the logo is going to be like. Stop in and pre-order. Just tell us your size, and we'll have them later in the week.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool. T-shirts look great too, but it's a really cool.
Well, that is. I mean, there's one person responsible for that, and he's in the listening audience right now.
Right.
Neil is just incredible.
He is incredible, truly, in many different ways.
God gave him eyes. I don't know how he sees stuff, but I can look at the same thing that he is, and he sees it completely differently.
He's an artist.
There's only a few of us, Eric, that are artists.
Yeah, you do have an artistic eye yourself.
I do have an eye.
Neil's an artist. You're an artiste.
Yeah.
One thing about the Ohio, the marijuana program in Ohio, and I thought this was very interesting. Before they came to Ohio, of course, the people want to make the big bucks out of it. They had industry analysts. There are 21 qualifying conditions that a physician can prescribe medical marijuana for. They estimated in the state's population, about 24% of the state's population, or about 2.8 million Ohioans, actually have this qualifying condition if they would go. That's a fourth of the state. I was very shocked at that, but that's what the industry analysts have come up with.
Wow. Guys, before we get into firearms that didn't do so well, we got in this week some that are cutting edge. Ronnie has them right there. If you're on Facebook, you can see them. Glock 43X and the Glock 48. 2 hot off the presses firearms from Glock. They're certainly talking about them this week at SHOT Show. We have them right here. You can come rent them today. Again, check out our Facebook and Instagram page. We did a little video with them yesterday with one of our trainers. Ronnie, you have them in there in your hand. I tell you, the 43X, I'm not a huge Glock guy, but I see a place for it. I see a place. Yeah. If we were to describe it, it now has the same footprint as a Smith & Wesson Shield, but you pick up 2 extra rounds. And that was always one of my complaints about the 43 is you were a little bit undercapacitized, as we like to say.
Right.
And I'm just making it up as I go.
Wow, you know what, though? It's really thin, too. I like that a lot.
Is it thinner than the 43, though? I mean,
no, it's the same thinness. Actually, they say that the grip on the 48 may be like 5/10 or 5/12 of an inch larger or what, but you wouldn't be able to tell it.
No. The 48 for me is it's the same frame as the 43. It is the barrel itself is what, a half an inch longer? I'm not sure.
It reminds me of kind of a single stack Model 19 is what when I first picked it up.
Why
with 10 rounds though?
And this 43X looks like a little baby junior 19X.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
They share the same magazine.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah,
I'm not quite.
Numbers the same on the.
You know, from here, Eric, that one that John has now looks like a car.
It
from here.
does.
Hey,
It
hey,
does.
hey! Don't be
does.
talking Glock like that.
It does. It does
Cars are
have
big guns.
some car look to it. But, I guess I can see the 43X as being something that's popular. The 48, I don't know. I mean, if you're a Glock person, you have to have it. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know, Ronnie. I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm a Glock fanboy, but the 48 doesn't do a whole lot for me. But the 43X, I like that.
Yep, I can see that there. Guys, let's jump to break here early so we can come back on the other side and talk about firearms that weren't quite living up to the expectations that you would think. We're on target. We're broadcasting live from the LEPD studios. That's located at 999 Bethel Road. We'll be right back after the break.
The Mark Blazer Show, Monday at 3.
Hope you're surviving Snowmageddon 2.0. I'm coming over to shovel your driveway. At 3:27 on Monday, MLK National Park is set to reopen for the national holiday. And at 4:07, weed delivery is now legal if you want to go out west. Talk to you Monday at 3. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Hey, this is Paul from OnTarget. Around the store, I'm known as a tough guy and the enforcer. I usually don't do commercials. However, when it comes to our new sponsor, Toyota West, I told Eric this is all mine. Since
Still
the late
good there, Scotty?
1980s, I have been going to Toyota West for all of my new cars.
Yes, sir. We're perfect.
35 still?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna get out I'm gonna head to the beach later.
Hey, are they forecasting snow today at all now?
Tonight.
Okay. Is that legit?
And it's a nowcast, not a forecast.
Are they seriously saying that, or is that just you?
If
and
you're
Dad?
looking to turn your base.
No, we're not saying that. They said it on ABC this morning.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's their way of covering their asses, Eric.
Oh my God! I do have a screen print from I forget what station it was, forecasting 23 inches for Marion.
I hope we get it.
I know.
So you can be proven wrong, sir.
I know it. I know. I don't care. Other than it cost me to do the parking lot, but.
Well, right. I just don't want to fall on my ass when I leave here.
Yeah, I know. I know.
JacksonEgressWindows.com.
Your ABC 6 first warning weather. There is a winter storm warning for Columbus metro area and central Ohio through Sunday. Winter weather advisory and flood watch for far south of central Ohio and southern Ohio. For Saturday, though, snow, ice, and rain is likely. All snow in windy conditions will end late in the day, high of 34. For tonight, snow showers likely and very windy, low of 16. It's going to be chilly. Sunday, more snow showers are potentially going to be seen. Very windy, cold, high of 19. It is still a very warm 35 degrees on your severe weather station. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Breaking news and traffic and weather every 10 minutes. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Hot town, summer in the city, back of my neck getting dirt and gritty. Bend down, isn't it a pity? Doesn't seem to be a shadow in the city. All around, people looking half dead, walking on the sidewalk hotter than a match head. But at night it's a different world. Go out and find a girl.
Welcome back to On Target. I'm your host, Eric, joined today with JC from the sales team, Ronnie, who makes up Boom Boom Tactical, my father and co-owner, Phil.
You know, if you request it, Scott can do it.
Did you request that?
This is
yeah,
good.
both of those.
Oh, you did?
Well, yeah. Oh, you thought that he just on his own?
Yeah. Well, he's good that way.
Well, he's capable. He's capable, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good, though. But it is, I've been looking out there with my windshield wipers up in the air, wondering what the heck's going on with that.
When it looks really gloomy, it looks really crappy outside, the sun is always out. It's just above the clouds. It's there.
That's right.
That's right.
It's there. Okay.
There you go. Well, guys, we wanted to talk a little bit about firearms that didn't quite meet the expectations of the market, I guess. And so we're just going to rattle down. I'm going to throw a firearm out there. You guys give me a quick thought on it. And we're doing this in anticipation of SHOT Show next week. Next week's show, we're going to talk about some of the new things that are being announced at SHOT Show. And so, you know, always at SHOT Show, you get excited about some of these products, and some of them some of them you never see. And then some of them you do see, and you probably shouldn't have seen. But we're going to talk about a couple of those now. So you guys ready? I'm going to go right down the list.
Okay.
Okay. And this you got to think about this first one though. The Lanad double barrel shotgun.
I have one of those.
Silence.
Yeah, pilot silence. The pocket also gives me.
Oh, that's my next one.
You obviously Googled the 10 worst weapons because it was on there, and I'm like, that sounds like.
Well, you know what? Dad and I had one at one point. It was kind of neat. It was a 410.
Oh yeah, we actually had them in the store.
Yeah,
we did.
They were a little barrel. They were kind of neat. I mean, you could get them like in an 8-inch barrel. Now, The reason we sold ours is because we heard a story firsthand that they had that coating on it, that finish or whatever, and apparently that could gum up the firing pin. So this particular person that we knew personally, it gummed up the firing pin, and the firing pin was stuck out.
Oh.
So when he went to close the barrel, this is a
surprise.
Yes, and 410 into the thigh.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
that's not a good thing.
No, so we didn't have much. I kind of miss it though.
They were, you look at that, and it's something like you would put together in your garage. It
was
with kind of spare.
It was
spare parts
with high school welds.
Yeah.
That was. But that one with the 8-inch barrel, it looked like a boot.
I know.
Perfect. But the grip on it was as tiny as a pocket pistol. It was pretty crazy.
Also from the fine folks over at Lanad, and we did like some of their stuff. The Pocket Pow, JC, which I know you have one.
I have one.
John's got a Pocket Pow.
It is a Pocket Pow. So yes, it's an unusual gun which fired 2 different rounds. It came with 2 barrels. One barrel, it was all together. One, the top one was a 380, and it had a 3-shot revolving cylinder that took 3 380s, and the other cylinder you could put in was a 22.
Right.
So you had your choice of one gun with a 380 or a 22, and it had a trigger pull, which is equivalent of lifting up a 100-pound hog in a wet day. It was really.
Speaking of, let's go to my next one on my list. Speaking of horrible trigger pulls, Smith & Wesson, and I hate to say this, I hate to put Smith & Wesson in this category. Their 22 Magnum, their little J-frame revolvers.
This is
horrible
trigger pulls. Why?
Yeah, and we tried to tweak one of those, and that was not a good thing.
This is a top quality gun with
Why
one of
did
the
they do
worst
it?
trigger pull.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
Not to be outdone by the Smith & Wesson little 22 or 22 Magnum revolver. How about the PPK in 22?
Oh, my
Coming in
goodness.
at a lean 17.5-pound trigger pull.
Oh, my goodness.
You have that, don't you?
Why?
Why? You have that, don't you?
Walther
That 22?
No, that's
PPK
old.
and 22. I just have no idea why they have that.
Well, the
That's
concept was
crazy.
neat. I mean, if you had a PPK, but the trigger pull was nothing like the 380 version. It's just
right.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Okay. All right, Popo, I had Chiappa on here. Let me cross this
The
one off.
revolver, the Rhino. What about the stupid holsters that go down your pants? What's that?
Stupid holsters that go to some of those ones, those
what's the
tacky
name of that?
ones.
We could do a whole show on stupid holsters.
You know what? Let's save
I'm
that.
not sure
Yeah,
about.
we'll save that one. We'll
Yeah.
save that. Yeah.
That one guy that he's sitting there, and all of a sudden he whips what looks like a suitcase out of his belt, and it's
Yes.
like, dude, no way.
Yeah, there's some crazy ones out there. I'll tell you one for me, guys, and I was an early adopter, and I left the ship early too. The Diamondback 380. Now, when this came out, it was one of the smallest 380s out there. It looked like a miniature Glock. So all the Glock folks are looking at that and they're like, wow, it looks like a Glock. It broke down like a Glock. It was wonderful. It just didn't shoot. So
Now, when you say didn't shoot, you mean it?
there was an issue with
Was
the
it
trigger
a
that
click?
it would go clear to the back, and you would hit the back of the inside of the trigger guard before the firing pin fell.
Oh, brother.
So I purchased 12 of them, to sell early on. This is probably back in 2010, and sent 11 of them back to the factory, and they went back and forth. And I don't know if they ever. I mean, they're still around. Diamondback is still making products, so I would assume they got it right at
Hopefully
this
they got
point.
something
but
better, but that was
yeah,
it's horrible.
so that was on my list. Okay, guys, how about the Taurus Curve?
Yep. They threw a curveball on that one, and it was, unusual.
Why? Why would you do that? I mean, really, why would you do that?
It was a firearm that actually have a little bit of a curvature to it, supposedly to
fit in your hip better, because it did come with a steel clip, which was not very strong. I pulled the first one out and it bent and never went back into position. Not a good thing. But it did come with and the sights were just a cross that was carved in the back of the gun. There were nothing on the top of the gun. The first ones we got didn't even have the caliber. Do you remember that? Didn't even have the caliber indicated on it. We had to send those back because that was a faux pas on their part. But
well, those are probably rare now.
Oh, they are.
They
we
were.
should have kept it.
I know. Ronnie, you had one I know we talked about. What were you Or did we already touch it?
No, we didn't. I had a couple. I had one that had a question mark behind it because some people got a good one, some people didn't. And that would be the Kimber Solo.
Right. And those were, I mean, they kind of flopped, even though my wife carries one now. If you got a good one, you got a good one.
But they only recommended two different exact kinds of ammo, two different brands with two different bullet weights, and that was it.
And then my other one was the Honor Defense Honor Guard.
And you know what? A good firearm.
It is a good firearm.
It just never took off. So I don't know if
they're even making a second, different version of it now too.
Right.
So they're
Do
producing.
you have one, John?
No, I do not.
Why?
Well, you better go out and get one, John.
My wife won't let me.
No, here you go. What about the Remington R51?
Yeah.
That had a good potential.
Good potential.
Good potential.
It works and everything.
Even after the second recall, it still has a potential.
It's ugly.
Well, the
ugly.
slide on that
The slide was
great.
good. Yeah.
And the same with the Remington RM380. We loved that. You had one for a while until we were looking at it and you turned it sideways and the pin fell out.
The pin falls out. You know,
one of our employees bought it for his wife.
If
and
you're
the pin
shooting the
fell
gun
out
like
on the range.
like your gangbangers, it's not going to work for you because the pin drops
And
down.
one of our employees, his wife took it up. That's what he got for her, and pulled the trigger, and the pin fell out. The slide came off, and the barrel on also. It was not a good thing.
We're creeping up on the time here,
Okay.
guys. But let me throw a grouping of firearms together. Colt remakes of their revolvers, their 1903 remake. How about the Colt Cobras? All these have come out recently. Really less than
they
less
should
than
not have
appealing.
done that.
I mean, they're just not the quality that they were originally.
They should not have done that. I mean,
Although
they just
some of them, like the Colt Delta Elite, which they have now, is
right.
a really
The
nice
revolvers,
one.
it just don't seem to be at that.
They don't have that polished, smooth look to
like
them.
this.
Yeah.
The 1903s were just expensive. I mean, they were actually replicas not made by Colt, but by the guy who made their Colt Gatling guns and repros, and they were really good. They're just expensive. We sold this one. This is the 22 Zip, probably the most unusual gun I've ever seen in my entire life here.
Yep.
And you actually had to put your hand in front of the barrel to charge the gun.
Just for a second.
And it hooked on the bottom of a Picatinny reel.
There you go.
You could stick it on the front of your AR if you wanted it. It was just the most unusual
Yeah, I forgot
thing I've
about the
ever
zip
seen.
gun.
The
I wonder who
Zip.
bought those for the store.
Oh, my
Jeez.
goodness.
Guys, thanks for spending the last hour with us. Next week, a SHOT Show preview. Be careful if you're driving out there. Check us out on Facebook. Get your pre-order of your shirts in. Come rent the Glock 43X and the Glock 48. They're here today, and one's for sale next week will be in our stores. Thanks for listening. Have a good week. Stay warm.
If your business is healthcare, you care about attracting the right customers. With 1 in 2 people looking to improve their health in the new year, now's the time to advertise. Getting healthy, feeling, and looking better are always on top of the resolution list. Give your campaign a healthy start with iHeartRadio. We reach 93% of Americans, and some of them will research your business after hearing your radio ad. Make it your resolution to grow your business with iHeart. Visit iHeartWorks.com. That's iHeartWorks.com.
Hey, it's Matt McCoy for Universal Windows Direct. No need
Scott,
to
I think
go
we need
through
a second
window
hour.
with old leaky windows that create a cold and drafty home.
Hey, I'm sure if you're willing to pay for it, Mike's willing to give it to you.
Let's just go right now. Look, we'll just go right now. We're talking weather. Come on.
That is true. Sorry, man. Somebody in a much bigger office makes that decision, not me.
Just do it one time. We'll support you.
Oh, sure, just one time.
We got a job here for you. $12 an hour.
Well, you know what? That'd be a big pay increase, actually. So, all right, man. You're ready to fire whenever.
Here we go.
Thanks, buddy.
This is Eric from OnTarget. This week we preview new items just released at SHOT Show, and Ronnie has the Gun of the Week sponsored by Jackson Egress Windows. Tune in Saturday at 1 p.m. or live from LEPD Studios on Bethel Road.
Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate, the #1
This is Eric from OnTarget. This week we preview new items just released at SHOT Show, and Ronnie has the Gun of the Week sponsored by Jackson Egress Windows. Tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. or live from LEPD Studios.
It's
Let me
like
do it
taking
again.
3 prostate supplements in one. To celebrate,
This is
we're
Eric from
sending free
OnTarget. This
bottles
week
to
we
men who
preview
wanna
new
cut
items
down
just
on
released at
bathroom
SHOT
trips.
Show, and Ronnie
Yes,
has the
your
Gun of the Week
first
sponsored by
30-day
Jackson
supply
Egress
is
Windows.
free.
Tune in
Pay
tomorrow at
shipping
1
and
p.m. or live
Call
from LEPD Studios on Bethel Road.
1-800-204-0104. Early research suggests that
This is Eric from OnTarget. This week we preview new items just released at SHOT Show, and Ronnie has the Gun of the Week sponsored by Jackson Egress Windows. Tune in today at 1 p.m. or live from LEPD Studios on Bethel Road.
Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-204-0104.
All right, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for everything, Scott.
Hey, I want you to stay safe out there.
I will. We will.
All right, buddy. Take
See
it
you.
easy.
Yep.
Your station for news, traffic, and weather in Central Ohio. News Radio 610 WTVN Columbus. WODC HD2 Asheville.
An iHeartRadio station.
Snow impacting Central Ohio, the big story at 2 o'clock. I'm Allison Wyatt. Traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 10s, powered by Tempstar Heating and Cooling Products.
We are seeing some wet pavement out there this afternoon. An injury accident blocks east